Now, there were two firsts in the Senate this week. Cheryl Gillen became both the first female and the first Conservative Welsh Secretary to address the Assembly. She told AMs that a referendum on further powers could be held in March next year. Now, one man who is firmly in the no camp is the UKIP MEP John Bufton. I spoke to him a little earlier and he told us when he thinks the vote should be held.
Well, there are two things here to start with. One is regarding the referendum and the timing of the referendum. UKIP are pro-referendum. We believe that we should have referendums. However, with this one, it is planned now by Cheryl Gillen to have it before the end of next March. Now, the situation would be that we would have two elections within 2 months. We'd have a referendum in March, and then we'd have our Assembly elections in May. To me, it's absolutely madness. The cost last year of holding the European elections was £5 million to the taxpayer, and we feel that they should be on the same day.
Do you not think that people might get a little bit confused, though, if they're voting for parties to form a government in the National Assembly and they're also voting about a constitutional issue at the same time?
No, I don't. I think that people understand these things very well. Basically, what will happen on the Assembly, at the Assembly election, there'll be two pieces of paper, one for the regional list, one for first past the post. All it will mean now will be a separate piece of paper stating the question whether further powers are required or not, depending on how the question is formed, which is yet to be decided, of course.
Well, tell us why there should be a majority no vote, then.
Well, there's two things about this, because at this moment in time, I believe the Yes campaign has started, because, as you well know, that all the parties in the Assembly, all the party leaders, including Nick Bourne of the Conservatives, are pushing for a Yes vote in the campaign. So they're all hell-bent on this thing going through. So from our point of view, is we believe that the Assembly has enough powers as it stands. When the question is put to the public at large, they then can decide. There needs to be a yes and no campaign. We can get our arguments across the board then, but that needs time to take place as well, of course.
The Assembly wouldn't be getting more powers, though, necessarily, would it? All it would be doing was changing the way it works. Do you not want it to be more efficient?
Well, basically you say that, but the MPs, and certainly the Welsh MPs, are quite happy the way it's working at this time. So as far as we're concerned, I see this as being a stepping stone to further powers longer term, and it's the next step, in my view, as well, to full independence for Wales.
You want the National Assembly to be abolished, though, don't you?
Yeah, what we feel is at the moment there are too many politicians in Wales. You know, at the moment we have 40 MPs, we have 60 Assembly members, there are 4 MEPs. There's way too many politicians. And I think with the financial cuts that we're going to receive very soon, certainly within the budget in the next week, and in the autumn spending review next autumn, people are going to find it very tough. People will be losing their jobs. All they're seeing is more politicians. What this is here, in my view, is a plan by the political elite in Cardiff Bay that they want the timing of the referendum to be held 2 or 3 months beforehand to give enough time so they can get their seats back in the Assembly. I'm very cynical about this, but what I'm looking at is that, to me, it's almost like Mugabe politics. You've got a situation here where they're all concerned about getting their seats afterwards. What are they frightened about? Have the election and the referendum on the same time, save £5 million and trust the people of Wales to decide.
Okay, say £5 million, but you presumably would want to take part in the No campaign, and you presumably you'd like some of that pot of money that the Electoral Commission are putting aside for you to fight that campaign, or will you say, we don't want that money, then we'll pay for it ourselves?
Well, there's two issues here. One is the £5 million is what it costs to actually run the elections. That's where the local authorities have the polling booths and all the staff to come in. They run from 7 to 10 o'clock at night.
Are you going to say no to them? We don't want your money?
No, hang on. That's that part. So that's where the £5 million comes in. The second part then will become the yes and no campaigns. They'll be funding independently then, hopefully on the same, should be the same levels of money. That money will go in. Now, my understanding it'll mainly be for offices and stuff like that.
So you want that? You want the taxpayers' money there? You're quite happy to spend taxpayers' money if it's for promoting your own campaign?
There needs to be a fair debate on whether people should understand exactly what's going on regarding the question of further powers. The yes and no campaigns have a very important role to play in this. As I said before, because all the parties...
If you're so keen on it, why can't you pay for it yourself?
All the parties in the Assembly are all pushing now, and they've started the yes campaign, in my view, because that's what we've been hearing, and this is why the opinion polls, in my view, have gone in their favour. But we have to have a clear decision here that the no campaign, once it's founded, because we don't know yet who the no campaign will be, it's all down to the Electoral Commission and together with the Secretary of State, and I believe the First Minister will be involved. But the people of Wales need to have a balance, so there's two equal balances, because otherwise it won't be fair.
A quick one on the budget. We talked about it earlier in the programme, but VAT goes up, public sector pay and pensions go down. Are those things that you broadly support?
my very point was made before, but to save them the £5 million at this time when we're going to lose a lot of jobs in Wales, and Cheryl Gillen can go and waste £5 million, to me it's a sign of do as I say, not do as I do. If they want to spend money like that, people will find it very tough with the budget and also in the spending review, because there'll be lots of jobs lost in the country. But the other question, of course, is the euro. The eurozone is in crisis. We've seen what's happened in Greece. I feel that Spain is on the brink. So there's a huge situation here with all of this going on at the same time.
John Bufton, thanks very much.
Thank you.